The white stone tower in Chicago glistened every morning as sunlight hit its mirrored surface. Inside, Ava Whitestone, 37, the sharp and unflinching CEO, ran her empire with precision. Her reputation? Brilliant. Ruthless. Untouchable. She had no time for small talk or small people, especially not the janitor, Eli Turner, a quiet 42-year-old single father who worked the night shift cleaning up everyone's mess. Eli was the kind of man no one noticed, but who noticed everyone. Always smiling, even when scrubbing toilets or fixing vending machines. He wore an old blue uniform with his name stitched in white thread. His hands were calloused, his shoes worn, but his eyes, they had a calmness that made even storms feel small. Ava had walked past him 100 times without saying a word, until the day her CFO complained. Miss Whitestone, the CFO said, our janitor requested to split his paycheck into 2 bank accounts. Apparently, half goes to some children's shelter fund. Want me to check if it's legit? Ava barely looked up from her tablet. Why would a janitor be giving away half his paycheck? Just make sure it's not money laundering. The CFO smirked. Will do. That night, Ava stayed late at the office. Deadlines, contracts, negotiations, money never sleeps. Around midnight, she saw Eli through the glass reflection, mopping the hallway, humming softly to himself. For a moment, she paused. There was something oddly peaceful about him. Turner, she called. Yes, ma'am, he said politely. How long have you been working here? Almost 7 years, ma'am. And you still take the bus? She asked, noticing the worn backpack by his cart. He smiled faintly. Bus rides give me time to think. My boy says it's where I get my best stories. Ava frowned slightly. You have a son? Yes, ma'am. Danny. He's 9. Smart kid. Wants to build rockets someday. Something flickered in Ava's eyes, but she turned away quickly. Get back to work, she said coldly. Eli nodded, and continued humming. The next day, the CFO reported back. The shelter's real. It's a small orphanage outside Chicago, barely staying open. Eli's been donating half his income every month for the past 6 years. He even helped rebuild their roof last winter. Ava froze. He's giving away half his paycheck, for orphans? The CFO shrugged. Crazy, right? Guy probably can't afford his own rent. Ava said nothing, but something about it bothered her. Deeply. She had grown up rich, silver spoon, private schools, a father who built Whitestone Industries from the ground up. But she also remembered the cold emptiness of their mansion, the endless board meetings, and how her parents' success had buried love beneath money. That night, Ava couldn't sleep. She thought of Eli, the janitor with the calm eyes, and the orphans he helped without anyone knowing. By Friday, curiosity turned into suspicion. Why would a janitor sacrifice that much unless he was hiding something? So Ava decided to find out for herself. Chapter 2, The Envelope. Saturday night. Rain fell hard. The city lights blurred through her windshield as Ava drove to the office, her heart pounding. When she entered the building, she saw Eli's cart near her office door, but no Eli. The lights were off inside her office. Only the faint glow of the moon lit the room. Ava stepped closer, and then froze. Eli was standing by her desk. He held an envelope in his hand. Turner, she barked. He spun around, startled. Ma'am. I can explain. What are you doing in my office? And what's that? Eli looked down at the envelope. It was sealed with neat handwriting, for Miss Whitestone. He sighed softly. I wasn't stealing, ma'am. I was leaving this for you. Her eyes narrowed. Open it. He hesitated but obeyed. Inside were photos, old, faded pictures of children smiling in front of a rundown orphanage. Attached was a note in simple handwriting. "Thank you for rebuilding the Hope Shelter when no one else would. You don't know me, but your father's donation 20 years ago saved my life. Now it's my turn to do the same for others." Eli's voice trembled slightly as he spoke. "Your father saved that orphanage once. I grew up there, ma'am. That's how I knew him. When he passed away, I wanted to honor him, and the kindness he showed me." Ava's breath caught. You were one of the children my father helped?" He nodded. "Yes, ma'am. I was 8. He visited every Christmas. Said kindness was the only investment that never loses value." Tears welled in Ava's eyes. She hadn't heard those words since she was a child. Her father used to whisper them before tucking her into bed. "I didn't mean to intrude," Eli said quietly. "I just wanted to leave the letter here before I quit." "Quit? Why?" Ava asked. "The shelter's losing funding again. I was planning to take another job, long hours, more pay. My son thinks I'm crazy, but those kids need me." Ava stood frozen, the letter trembling in her hands. She suddenly saw the man she'd ignored for 7 years, not as a janitor, but as the embodiment of everything her company had forgotten. The next morning, Ava drove 2 hours outside the city. The shelter was small, with peeling paint and a flickering sign that read, "Hope Haven Orphanage." Children played in the yard, laughing in mismatched clothes. And there was Eli, repairing a swing set while his son handed him bolts. When the kids saw Ava's car, they froze. She stepped out, heels sinking in the mud, looking completely out of place. Eli looked shocked. "Ma'am, what are you doing here?" Ava smiled softly. "My father believed kindness was an investment. I think it's time we make a few more deposits." That afternoon, she signed a check that made the orphanage's director cry. Enough to rebuild, feed, and fund education for years. But Ava didn't stop there. She launched a new corporate initiative, the Whitestone Promise, committing 5% of company profits to children's charities. And she asked Eli to lead it. Epilogue, full circle. 1 month later, a press conference filled the Whitestone Tower lobby. Cameras flashed as Ava introduced the new head of the Whitestone Promise, Eli Turner, former janitor, now director of community impact. As applause filled the room, Eli's son Danny stood proudly in the front row. After the conference, Ava walked to the old photo wall in her father's office. A black and white photo showed her father with a group of orphans, one of them a little boy with hopeful eyes.